Oh, boys. I'm Josh.
Excellent. So, we are live.
Hello.
Greetings.
So, we are still having some technical issues on good old Cyntari's part, so we're just going to push on through it, and I expect we'll do just fine. So, when last we saw our heroes, Nate the Human Ranger, Gobx the Plasmoid Warlock, Othokent the Lizard Folk Life Domain Cleric, Talah the Half-Orc Druid, and Abraham the Human Wizard, our friends had started down the pathway to learn a little bit more about this mine business, where there's reportedly some living metal that they can obtain for the project of rebuilding the body of what appears to be a creature like Gilgamesh. They went and met the owner of the mine, who ended up being a goofy little dude. Where did I put his name? I've got it. Nobody say anything. Mr. Rasden Swift Patch. I can't read. And he has presented them with a fantastically drawn map of the mines with incredible notations, and is allowing them permission to proceed to the mine to resolve that issue. After their conversation with Mr. Swiftpatch, they headed back to the hotel rooms, where they had a few conversations between different ones of them. So Nate and Talah had an in-depth, heartfelt conversation. Gobx had a conversation with her arm and became intimate with it. You can take that in whichever way you wish. And no, you didn't, but it's more fun to think you did. And then we were in the process of getting up that morning and beginning to head out of town. So it's morning. Everybody has gotten up and everybody's moving around.
Anyway, it's morning.
Mm-hmm.
It is indeed morning. So, what would you guys like to do?
I would like to just slowly mumble and complain and be mad about being up way too early despite it being almost noon.
Trying to put myself into the concept of the whole trip has been kind of taxing on the old man. Having his eye scooped out, cut down by a gigantic blade, and then reminded to be nice by a tiny old gnome. He's going to take it slow, go through his morning routine, make some tea, see if Milla's awake.
To be fair, the eye removal happened before you guys left.
Frost goes on his shoulder. Miss Milla, will you join me for tea? I have something I want to discuss with you.
Yeah. I'm awake. Why am I in your bed?
I can't hear anybody all of a sudden.
Oh, I
Oh,
was
no.
probably way too low.
Test.
Bitch.
Can you hear?
No, he
Maybe
can't hear us.
that's why. Oh, shit nuts.
That sounds disgusting.
That is certainly a word. Can we get that on a t-shirt for merch? Shit nuts.
Oh, there's our first YouTube
Abram
short.
Going, oh shit nuts.
There's our first YouTube short.
Yeah.
Clip it. Someone clip it.
So when I'm sitting in the evening in front of my crystal ball, there's nothing I love more than a bowl of shit nuts.
You know that that one company a lot of YouTubers get a sponsorship with, Magic Spoon, that does the cereal thing?
Yeah. No, I don't think they're going to make that flavor.
No, it's just that they have started getting like custom named packages for some of the YouTubers. we could literally, if we ever got sponsored by them, ask them to make a pack called Shit Nuts.
We need to have it taste like chocolate and pistachio.
Yeah,
We call it
my
shit
word.
nuts.
Abram shit nuts.
Abraham Shit Nuts.
So, while we're waiting for the return of Cyntari and our dear old Abraham, maybe.
Huh?
Hello?
I'm so insanely tired right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Can you
very
hear us?
tired. Yeah, I can hear you.
Are we good
I hope so.
so far? Okay.
So far.
All right. So you have drugged Milla out of bed. So we'll put her on hold, guys. Everybody, let's hold off on the merchandise conversation about Abraham's bag of scrap nuts.
I literally didn't hear a single thing. Like after Soundscream said, "You all wake up and that's your morning," there was pure silence.
Oh.
And so I just started saying something because like, there's nobody saying something. This is getting kind of awkward. Apparently, I missed everything because of the issue I was having. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna start filling in the air with something to get the morning going. So I don't have to do anything. I was just trying to get the morning going.
Gotcha. So yeah, can you, and again, just try to keep an eye on it and let me know if you stop hearing us while we're talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna. What I'm doing is I'm putting up the other monitor, and I'm just gonna have the indicators for your voice up there, so I can.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds like a good idea.
So I'm going to say you guys all get up relatively the same amount of time, and are kind of gathered around. There is a continental breakfast, so I assume you guys are all meeting there and getting, cereal, toast, bagels, muffins, that kind of stuff. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you set off for the day?
Let's see. We already have the food and drinks we need.
Yes. Othokent has acquired food, drinks, tents, general survival equipment.
And I have a wand that gives me the ability to cast, like with increased attack, right? But nothing to increase the number of spell slots I have, right?
So what you have the Wand of the War Mage? Yeah, it increases your spell attack rolls.
Yeah, so
it doesn't add to damage or to your spell save DC or to your spell slots.
I was just thinking about before we go out, like what my spell selection is. I was like, did I get anything like that? And I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think there was anything else to do from my perspective, as long as there's plenty of millet and seed or things for the birds to eat. And if I need to acquire that, then I will.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'll say you guys are fairly prepared. It's not it's a 2 days out, 2 days back kind of trip, so nothing too tremendously strenuous. So you guys finish eating breakfast, you guys get all of your packs and everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys begin to leave, as you step outside, I need perception checks from everybody.
Alrighty.
Come on.
As we see Carrie just standing there.
No, we don't see him. That's the horrifying thing. Not even hiding.
That +6.
Perception.
I did all right, didn't I?
All right. So, and Nate, don't forget your mirrors. So that's all. Don't forget that you've got that item.
Yeah, the cube, yeah.
So just as a reminder, in case you'd forgotten, because you haven't gotten to use it yet, and it's been a while since we played this campaign.
Yeah. No,
So,
I haven't forgotten then.
All right, good deal. So nobody notices this except for Gobs. Kind of catches it just a little bit as you guys step out. There's a very thin, just like as you step out of in the pavement outside, there's a line. I mean, we're talking like eyelash thin line of magical energy that is running both to the right and the left. As you step out the door, and like if you were to look down where you'd see a line and like say it was a concrete, right? It's kind of like that, but it's magical energy. Just very thin green, very pale magical energy that's running both to your right and your left.
Yeah,
Like you stepped over that line as you guys walked out.
Goss is gonna stop and just stare at it. And do the thing where you follow it in both directions with your eyes. Like completely turning your head, not at all being subtle.
It goes for about 20 or 30 feet in both directions. And then you can see it start to angle and go more towards. So like it goes, like if you're standing there looking at it and the door is in front of you that you just walked out, it goes to your right and then it angles at about a 45-degree angle to its right. And then when you look to the left, it goes down and it turns about a 45-degree angle to its left.
Oh.
You're also starting to pick up that as you kind of start looking around, because it gets so faint it's hard to see, but you can see little glimmers all across the kind of square that you're standing in of this glimmering green lattice work of energy that's laying out on the ground. And as you're following this with your eyesight, you notice somebody.
Yeah.
You see a familiar face.
Oh,
You gave him a picture.
Yes. Now, it's kind of odd because it's like 8:30 in the morning and there's a hot dog vendor standing out in the middle of a square. Hot dogs aren't exactly breakfast food.
Is it busy at all? Or is there anyone?
As Gobs, that's something that is also going to strike you as you've kind of glanced around everything. You thought you had seen people kind of walking back and forth, but now that you've noticed the hot dog vendor, there's nobody else in the square.
I will fight you.
Huh?
You fight me.
What do you mean hot dogs aren't the breakfast food?
Traditionally.
Anyways. Please don't make the hot dog vendor a bad guy.
Hey, you all seeing this?
Now seeing one.
I think we just stepped over into something, and at that point she just gestures down to the line, and there's absolutely no one else here.
Did I step in poo?
No.
Yeah, so all of you can now see the lattice work that she's pointing out.
Huh. That's
Wonderful.
peculiar.
Oh,
More of this stuff.
More of what?
Magical stuff to interfere with our lives. Weren't we given enough to do, resurrecting a god and all that?
I'm just wondering, there were people here just a moment ago, right?
As he says that, now that you guys look up from looking down at the lattice work, everybody's gone. In fact, as you look up, everything's gone. You're literally standing on this geometric pattern, and beyond it is nothing. You see literally nothing, just pure darkness outside of this area. So you're literally on a, what's a 6-sided parallelogram? My brain's not working. Hexagon? No, pent is 5. Yeah, hexagon. Hexagon's 5, right?
Yeah,
So
octagon
it's
is
Hexagon
8,
6.
Septagon is 7.
Yeah. Yeah, it would
So
be.
you're on a hexagon of the square, and the only other thing that's there is our hot dog vendor.
What?
Right, no one else is here.
should we be drawing our weapons?
When you say no one else, everybody else disappears. You say there was nobody in the square, so who is everybody else?
Like when you guys stepped out, you saw people walking around the square, right? But whenever you looked down and saw the lines of magic that Gobs pointed out to you, when you looked back up, there was nobody there.
Oh, so we joined her in that perception of nobody being there. Okay.
Correct.
I
Correct.
see now. All right.
Correct. And now that all of you have noticed this and noticed that, you also realize, like, you just see, imagine you're in a pure black room, a black void, and the only thing that's there now is this hexagon of the square that you guys are standing on, right, with the green energy tracing, which you could do an Arcana check if you wanted to on that, Abraham. This is obviously a pocket dimension of some kind. So by looking at the lattice work and everything and that specific type of arcane energy, this is familiar to you and the type of geometric structure you would use to encase and move somebody to another plane of existence.
This would be something that Nate would recognize.
Potentially. So Nate would, as once the shift happens, Nate would have felt it for sure. That you guys are no longer in the prime materia.
But the source of the energy that caused this is unknown, even to him.
It's not really a portal that did this. So his is specifically around portals, and he would know that it's not a plane he's felt the essence of before.
Sure.
Okay.
Curious, bud.
Yeah. No, that's a good call. You guys got to remind me of that kind of stuff sometimes. So I appreciate it.
Pulled into a pocket dimension. So what we have here is a creature that can manipulate dimensional boundaries.
Not a lot that can do that, right? That answer worries me more than a simple yes.
If it's a very in-depth answer that requires a lot more nuanced topics that we don't have time for. Let's just say that depending on who's involved, we could be in trouble, or we could just, nothing would happen. Who knows?
Do you have a clue of how we get out?
Do you sense a portal?
Just as a reminder, the hot dog vendor is actually still there.
Gee.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. He's on the other side from where you guys are, and he's just standing there making hot dogs.
Yeah, he's not looking confused.
Okay,
Like,
I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
making sure you guys know.
That's fine. No. He if he's the one that caused all this, he's going to understand our confusion, and he can wait while we figure this out.
Yeah, that's fine.
The hot dog man is not busy. He can wait.
So, can you feel any portals? I might have missed that answer, sound screen.
No, you do not. Well, let me rephrase that. At the moment, you do not feel any portals.
Okay.
That's not a good thing, right?
Not sure how we got here. No portal.
How do you bring somebody in here without an entry? What? Teleport, maybe? Or
magic?
Obviously, but how? He's talking it out loud, but in his head, he's like thinking formula.
Give me another Arcana check, Abraham. So, the only other option you can really think of, if it wasn't a portal and it wasn't a force shift, the pocket dimension may have been built around you. Which requires a high degree of manipulation.
The only other way is if he took a section of this plane of existence and he put walls around it and sectioned it off. So we're standing on a version of a section of the land that we were possibly inhabiting before. And he's in charge, ostensibly, apparently, maybe.
So, in case things goes bad, all we need to do is just tear a hole in reality to get out.
It's depending on how thick that reality is, it may be pretty thin. You never know how strong these walls they build.
I did not know reality had thickness.
Oh, yes. Quite a depth to it at times and quite thin at other times, depending on what's around it.
Hmm.
Did you know? He starts ranting about some sort of...
Oh, I had no
Well,
clue.
Well,
Talking
Othokent's
about
got this
some
Nintendo.
great catechism where the
Mhm.
planets aligned and the walls between realms became thin, and that's a
Mhm.
theory on how the elves
Yeah,
got to the
mhm.
world in the first
The
place and all that
conjunction
kind
the
of stuff.
spheres, exactly.
Catechism?
Yeah.
Anyways, somebody should go talk to him.
Okay,
Right. Okay.
I
Yeah,
go
yeah,
over.
fine. Okay. I follow.
Greetings, good vendor of hot dogs.
Well,
You know where we are?
Good morning. Well, yeah, you're in my home. Othokent, Gobs, how are you guys doing this morning?
Who in the world
Do-
are we talking to right now?
Doing all right.
Hot dog?
I
Sure.
suddenly lost my appetite.
That's a shame. So, well, I suppose you're wondering why you're here.
Definitely.
So, first and foremost, I want to make it clear. I told the boss man I didn't think this was necessary. Okay. But he's decided you needed to be tested to see if, basically, to kind of judge you guys, which I think it's not really right, in my opinion, to judge others, but, kind of have to do what the big guy says. So, you,
Who is the boss man?
we'll get to that. So,
Okay.
let me explain where you are and what we're doing today. Welcome to the 6 levels of judgment. So this is a pocket dimension that I control, and there's some very, very specific rules. There are 6 levels to this place. Upon getting to the 6th level, you will get the opportunity to ask questions and answers and things like that. And if you clear all 6 levels, then you get to go free, and you get to keep any cool stuff you find while you're in here. However, each level has very specific rules, and the entire dimension has one very specific rule on me. I am not allowed to give you false instructions. Does that make sense? So when we are on a level and I tell you what you have to do on the level, I can't lie to you about those rules. Okay? I have to give you the full rules and all of that. So that is the restriction placed on me in order to give this place structure and meaning and all of that. So in order for me to rule it, I have to set rules, and those rules are absolute. I can't break them. You can't break them. Make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's talk
Confusion
about
paints his face as he answers that.
So let's talk about rule number 1. With the exception of the 6th level, you can only have 4 participants. So, and he snaps his fingers, and Talah disappears. Now, don't worry. She's safe. Oh, we lost somebody.
Nexus did
Nexus.
not approve.
Nexus, scratch
Thing
that.
Talah disappears.
Talah
Nope, Nexus
disappears.
is gone.
So there is a side realm, a nice little bar where she can hang out, rest, eat, stuff like that. She will not be harmed. Okay? So just be clear, she'll be fine. Assuming you guys actually pass. So, are you ready to face the first trial?
Excuse me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. This needs to be done with the right hand. She's gonna full force slap herself.
Okay. Roll an attack roll.
Can I choose to not try to avoid? I am
Sure.
literally
Roll
trying to
damage.
hit myself.
1 plus strength, unless
Yeah,
different.
it will just be 1 plus strength, and my strength is 8. So
You deal yourself 0 damage.
Nexus, you good?
Oh, yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. My cats have recently figured out that they get my attention if they pull the cord from my router.
So
That is
that
unfortunate.
would your cats would also learn very quickly if it was at my house. That's how Daddy gets new socks made out of cat fur. That's not true.
Yeah.
I would never hurt the cats. Just to be clear, that's a joke. But yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah, that will be 1 minus 1, so 1.
All right, you take
You
a point of
attacking
damage
him?
as you punch yourself in the face.
That's
No,
fine.
she's slapping herself.
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Why?
it's like that stung.
Okay, this is not a dream.
Yeah, no.
Someone had to check.
I mean, I could have hit you.
I'll hit you.
Don't hit each other.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'm starting to side with the boss man. You guys may not be up to what you're doing. So yeah. Who's up for the first challenge?
Sure. Show me your
Excellent.
challenge.
Excellent. So, everything kind of fades to darkness, and the stand disappears, but he's still standing there. He goes, "So, welcome to the test of discovery. You are now, so just to catch Nexus up, because I'm not sure what all he missed, you're in a pocket realm called the 6 levels of testing, and you
Six
have
levels
to
of
go
judgment.
through, or judgment, I'm sorry. You have to go
Okay.
through his different levels of challenges, and once you succeed, good things happen. Big thing is he cannot lie to you about the rules, and the rules are unbreakable both by him and by you. So, can't happen.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
everything kind of
thanks for
goes
that.
dark. No problem. Everything goes dark, and as the lights kind of come up, you're just in, it's kind of like you're in a black room. There's no lights, but you can see everything, right? So you guys are all standing next to each other. Standing in front of you are 5 people. He goes, these are 5 siblings. Their father was murdered. Your job is to figure out who killed him. Here are the rules. Each and every one of them speak in a very specific manner. You can ask each of them one question, but once you've asked somebody a question, you cannot ask them another question until you've asked all 5 of them a question. Once you've asked all 5 of them a question, you can restart, but every time you take a new set of questions, there is a penalty. And that penalty increases every time you take a set of questions. If you guess the murderer, you will be moved on to the next trial. If you guess incorrectly, there's also a punishment. Now, magic is strictly not allowed for this challenge. This is a challenge to determine how well you can figure things out. Are there any questions about the rules?
Yeah. But I don't think they're related to the task.
Excellent. Any other questions? So, let me introduce you to our suspects. First, the eldest brother, Alaric. The young man steps forward, human, medium build, very nondescript, brown hair. Second, the oldest of the daughters, Bria, and she steps forward, a little bit shorter than Alaric, has her long brown hair. Next,
Give me a moment. Not so
Sure.
fast. Not so fast. I can't.
Sure.
I'm trying to keep up with this, unless we're getting it in writing as well. Okay, give me the first one's name again, please.
Alaric, Alaric.
Yeah, and he was
Medium build, medium height, fairly nondescript. Brown hair.
got it.
Bria, which so far Nexus has spelled everything mostly right.
I wasn't aware Nexus was also okay.
Yeah, Bria is shorter than Alaric. Long brown hair. Again, looks a little bit younger than him, but not much. Alaric was like early 30s. She would be late 20s.
Give me a moment. Give me a moment. You said he was what?
Early 30s.
Or late 20s?
And she would be late 20s.
Yeah.
Next is the only other boy, who is Corwin.
I'm just spelling it however I think it's spelled.
Corwin.
Almost correct. It's actually with a K.
Those are the last three names, just to make it easy. Again, he's going to be late 20s, but a little bit younger than Bria. Again, short brown hair. You can obviously see the familial ties between Corwin and Alaric. They look very, very similar. Corwin just looks like a little bit younger version of him, a little bit shorter, not quite as built out. Dara is the next. She would be in her early 20s. She has blonde hair.
Corwin had brown hair as well?
Yeah, everybody's had brown hair except for Dara. Dara's got blonde.
Okay.
And then Elra is the youngest. She is late teens. And she has very short cut brown hair, like a pixie cut.
All right.
So there's no limit on the amount of rounds of questions you can ask. Just remember, every time you go to another round of questions, there is a punishment, and that punishment does scale. So the punishment, so you get one round of questions without any kind of issue. If you decide you want another set of questions to ask, if you want to ask them questions another round, it's a punishment, and you do that. If you want to go for a third, the punishment doubles every time. So whatever the punishment is after to get the second set of questions, it'll double to get a third set. It'll double again to get a fourth set, so on and so forth. And there's a severe punishment for for accusing somebody of being a murderer if they are not.
Can I ask the guy a question?
The hot dog vendor?
Yeah.
You can try.
Without it being part of this whole gig.
Yeah, he asked if anybody had any questions, so my explanation was still in that time frame. You can ask him a question, sure.
Yeah, just want to make sure that none of these challenges are like full of tricks and curveballs, correct?
The rules are very straightforward, and from there, it's really up to you.
Yeah, I do have a question. I don't know if you can answer it. Are these real people?
Depends on how you define that.
How do you define that?
I mean, reality is perception.
I do not believe this philosophical discussion is going to get us anywhere. No offense.
Yeah, you're right.
See, that's why I like him. He gets it.
Well, what I meant with my question was more like you're asking us to find the murderer, but then it suddenly turns out, haha, it was a twist. All of them are murderers. It's not something like that, right?
He just shrugs his shoulders.
If we say-
It's like the only other thing I can clarify for you is that the people involved or the persons responsible for the death of their father is in this room. Or let me rephrase that. Let me make it more clear, just because I don't want you to think I'm messing with you. The person who killed him is one of these 5. How's that?
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. That
Perfect.
we can work with, because that means
who
it is
directly, let me here, because I don't want you to think I'm messing with you guys or being unfair. The person who directly murdered their father is one of those 5. Right? It's not like, oh, they caused him so much stress, he had a heart attack. Oh, but they didn't really kill. Nothing like that.
Well, you said earlier that you would explain the rules, or you couldn't lie about them, and you said murderer, not murderers, which means it would only be a singular person no matter what we looked at.
Have I mentioned I like him yet?
Just making sure.
Well, I do not know what questions to ask.
Yeah,
Me neither.
I'm better just bring it to conclusions and punch
So one question per person at a time, as far as they go. So, like, if you have a question, you would ask it to just one of them. They will answer, and then you continue.
Yes.
Hmm.
And
I'm
whether or
sorry.
not they answer truthfully is up to them.
Gobs, you left roll 20.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh,
Oh, it says your connection to the server has been interrupted. Great. Let's just reconnect that.
And thus the trial begins, and he vanishes.
All right.
So you guys are standing there. Again, there's nothing in this room but you and them. You can see them just fine, even though there's no obvious source of light. So, and they are just standing there, hands either folded or at their sides or in the bite. They're just standing there casually, separate from each other, not saying anything.
Usually Talah is pretty good at this. How about you, Mr. Grissom?
Xerxes, are you with us?
Wrangling a
think so.
kitten.
Sure.
Oh.
Just making
Fair
sure
enough.
we hadn't lost you.
I'm here.
All right. Well, my inquisitiveness and way to ask poignant questions is not exactly my forte. I'm not a reporter, but I am decent at seeing through lies and such.
All right. I guess we'll just do the obvious first then. We could just ask each of them who killed him.
Then we could also just go full on direct and say, are you the murderer?
Soundscream, you're lighting up and I'm not hearing anything.
I was moving my microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Soundscream?
Xerxes, can you hear me? Hello, hello?
Yes.
Can you hear any of
we
us?
I can hear you. I could hear them. I just couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. You were lighting up constantly while we were talking to each other, so we thought you were trying to say something.
Nah, I was just moving my mic around. That might have been it.
I mean, if we ask all of them if they are the murderer, everyone's gonna say no, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but then we can use our gut instinct to see who is lying.
That is no guarantee, though.
Well, none of this is.
I mean, we could do the same if we simply asked them who the murderer is, right? That would achieve the same result and could point some fingers.
We forgot to ask if we are allowed to frisk them.
I think we are allowed to, by the rules of the game, ask them questions and not use magic for the purposes of determining the truth.
Yeah, you didn't say anything about threatening them with violence.
I don't think that'll bring us anywhere, but it is part of trying to get the truth, I suppose.
one of them might still have the murder weapon on them or something.
I mean, there's a quick way to find out. Judge? No, that
yes.
oh, that is creepy. Okay. Frisking and physically touching, is that a part of this, or is it strictly the questions?
The people you see in front of you are not physically there.
Okay, so we couldn't even if we wanted to. Well, I mean,
Illusionary representations.
we do want to, but we can't. Okay.
Thank you kindly, sir.
You're welcome.
Right, that was creepy. Also, I'm gonna have nightmares about this. And I'm gonna talk about it in
So-
therapy.
Soundscream, they can't lie, can't they? Can say whatever they want to, right? They can lie their heads off these images. From what I
You've been
understand from the
given
rules.
those for the rules do not dictate that in any way.
Okay, so their truthfulness is questionable.
Mhm.
Did he say anything in the rules about how they would speak?
He
Mhm.
said
They would
that
all speak in particular ways.
Yeah, that was all he said.
Yep.
Mhm.
We could start
So,
off asking
I'm
them
gonna-
about how they're speaking.
Well, I was thinking about like a roundabout way of understanding their relationship with their father. Like, tell me the strongest memory you have of your father. If they were forced to tell the truth, then we would know by inference. They had a terrible memory of their father. They might hate him, and things like that. But if they just gonna lie, I'm not really sure what type of questioning to proceed with.
Especially because we have one round before we accumulate penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So the first round of questions need to be rather poignant.
Or at least we feel so before we suffer unduly.
Then again, we don't know what the penalties might be, though knowing this, it might be that one of us is knocked out of the investigation or something. And we
Or-
might not get to choose.
Or they could take a finger. We never know.
I think that's a little extreme if they plan for us to go through all the trials.
Hmm.
Well, they might first collect at the end.
I mean, let's try and ask one of them and see what happens. For all we know, they're gonna answer in music notes.
Keep
Which
in
would
mind,
be-
your DM is not that good.
Which would be a dick move.
So which kind of angle are we going for?
I'm thinking just the simplest. Just go up to one, ask who killed it, who killed him, see what happens, and we'll be able to determine from that. I'm thinking that the
Do you think we could ask in? I think it would work if we asked in a broader term, perhaps, asking them whether they or one of their siblings had a major issue with their father, or maybe something along those lines.
Maybe if we ask about not themselves, but what they think about the others, we can get a clear picture of the relationship.
Maybe, but everyone has their own bias and prejudice.
True, but we will get some through lines on some of them. For example, if two people say one of their siblings is terrible at sharing, then, well, there's usually some truth to it.
Yes, but if two people can't corroborate the same story about a third person, there might be more to it.
Indeed.
we could just go, who do you think murdered your dad? That would tell us what they think about the others as well, because then they're pointing someone out as being.
But you're prompting them to give you an to give them an accusation, to deflect blame onto who they want. At that point, you're opening the door to whatever they want to say.
I feel like we need to get them to talk about each and every one of their siblings, because that's the best way to get a overview. I think we might have to accept whatever penalty comes after the first round.
Judge,
That's fine.
I have a very particular question that's pertinent to the line of questioning I have.
Yeah.
How did the father die?
He was stabbed from behind directly into the heart.
Thank you so very much.
Impressive.
Sounds like someone has knowledge of anatomy at the very least.
It was not
A
me.
very
I did not do it.
A very sure hand. Now the question is, how much do they know about how their father was killed?
You want to ask all of them, how did your dad die?
How do you think yours?
Also,
Hmm?
how, like, what were they stabbed with? Was it a dagger, a sword? Like, you need to press through the ribs or between them, and that can be pretty hard.
Bowling
So
ball.
either you need a
A
lot of
stiletto
force
could
going
do
through
it.
the bone.
You know, a hard spike of steel.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it with a screwdriver or even a plentifully sharpened pencil if I had the time.
But you're a doctor. You have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Scissor could do it.
Let's ask them what the profession is. If we need a sure hand, maybe that will dictate what's going on here.
I mean, unless the hitting of the heart was a complete accident, they just wanted to stab the guy and just happened to do it in one.
Keep it simple, stupid. Come on.
I would say that stabbing someone from the back and hitting their heart is something you have to try to do. It's not something you do randomly. Like Nate says, getting between the ribs and past the spine and all these things. And you do have a lot larger musculature on your back than you do in your chest. You could puncture a lung easily. They are huge. They take up most of your chest cavity, but heart is smaller than you think.
Remind me to behold of that one later.
I believe that either we go with Abraham's line of questioning, trying to suss out more of their current occupations, or I believe we should perhaps get a view of them, how they think their father died, because some of them think they know, one of them no.
Yes, but that's supposing they don't already know. If they already know, the point is moot. They'll all say they were stabbed from behind.
That is true.
I do like the idea what Mr. Grissom is saying. And I doubt we are going to get through this in one round.
All right, let's go for it then. Let's just do something.
But still, if we are to find out who murdered this man, a single penalty will be acceptable. So, Grissom, I'll let you lead the line of questioning, and I'll try and, well, what do you call it? Analyze their psyches.
Yes. You there, the brown-haired one there. Yes.
That's all of them except one.
The one with the medium build and the medium height. Yes.
That's also kind of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's
Number
Alaric.
one there. What's that one?
Alaric, I believe.
Ah, Alaric. Mr. Alaric. What was your profession at the time of your father's death?
Why, I was a very successful business owner. We ran multitudes of shipping arrangements all across the southeast corner of Faerun and brought many glories and funds to the family. Obviously, my younger siblings could depend on me and would never have to worry about money.
I see.
So when he speaks, just as a clear, he steps forward, says what he's going to say, and then he steps back. And once he steps back, his expression goes back to that slack neutral expression, slack neutral pose.
A wax statue came to life and answered a question. Gotcha.
It seemed very confident.
Where's Faerun?
Yeah, the fuck is Faerun?
Yeah. Not part of the questions. You there, next, girl. The shorter one. What were you doing at the time your father was killed? Your profession.
None of them move. The judge's voice comes, you do need to address them by name so they know which one you're speaking to.
I think the second one is Bria, my friend.
Thank you, Bria. What were you doing at your profession at the time of your father's demise?
You know, what I can tell you is that Alaric they weren't doing as well as he said. His business failed horribly.
See?
And then she steps back.
I didn't hear any of that, GM.
You heard nothing I said?
Yeah. What I can say is Alaric.
So she stepped out and said, what I can tell you is that Alaric his business was not nearly as profound as he says it is. They were doing horribly and almost bankrupt at the time of our father's death.
Objection. She did not answer the question.
Objection overruled. I never said that they would answer it. Directly.
And what's the point of asking questions? You next. What was his name?
Is there any chance we could just get like a name sign on them?
Corwin?
Corwin. Abraham is playing up his
Yeah, yes, that's why.
playing into his memory.
That's why Gobx is asking for name signs on them. Like what my name is.
Like I'm staring at the name list. I'm just waiting for somebody to actually prompt Abraham to actually remember what the names are. Sorry, I'm just having a little fun. Sorry.
No. It was in character that she was like, "Can we get some name signs on them, please?"
Yeah, no, I'm just explaining in case it seems annoying. I'm actually just doing it. All right, Corwin, what was your profession at the time of your father's demise?
He steps forward and he goes, like always, I was a disappointment. Right, I wasn't working. Okay. Not as good as my siblings.
I don't think he did it.
And then he steps back.
Nah.
You younger one there,
All right.
Sarah.
You
Are you okay?
I can't think of her name. What's you?
Two of us just told you.
Remember, his headset's having
It
issues.
cuts out all the time.
Okay.
So all I can do is just continue role playing in silence.
Yes, but I didn't know if you were doing a bit or you hadn't.
No. Hey, yeah, let me know when I hear silence. Okay, I'll let you know when I hear nothing.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. That would make this a lot easier.
Actually, can you just do that? That would be fine.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Dara.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I don't want these issues. All right.
No.
Dara, what was your profession at the time of your father's demise?
Oh, well, obviously, somebody as young and gorgeous as I am was happily married to a wealthy doctor, so I didn't have to work. And then she steps back.
And then finally, you...
Elira.
Elira, yes. What were you doing at the time of your father's demise? Your work, career, profession?
You know, I don't think that's any of your business, but I can tell you, Dara's not as pretty as she says she is. And she wasn't as married to some rich doctor. And then she steps back.
Sibling jealousy, trying to place the blame on each other. We have a disappointment, we have a bravado, we have jealousy, and we have children. They are all in their own way responsible. A sure hand based upon desperation, maybe. A desire that they only have one course of action to escape the trap that they're in. Or maybe hatred for an old man that controlled them. There's a lot here that we don't know.
Did we ask Dara?
Yep, we've asked all of them a question.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear.
So what we got so far from this is that Alaric claims to have been a successful businessman in Faerun. Bria says that Alaric was not as successful as he says he was. I wonder what would have happened if we had asked her before him. Would she have just spouted out that line either way?
It seems that they're responding to each other as if they were all in the same room listening to this conversation, but only able to answer when prompted.
All right. Corin said that he was just a disappointment and unemployed. Dara said that she was pretty and was therefore married to a doctor. And Dara said, and Elira said that Dara was not as pretty as she claimed, and that the doctor wasn't as successful.
Yes, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them forced another one to do the job for them based upon some sort of mutual benefit arrangement.
So, what did we gather from this?
So there's some tension between some of the siblings at the very least, and Dara is married to a doctor who would have the necessary knowledge.
Yes, but the driver of the knife was standing in the room, so it wouldn't be the doctor that did it. It would be her.
No. I know.
Or somebody she hired. Maybe the disappointment did it. Convinced to become something by getting rid of the one who made him feel so downtrodden all his life and feel like a disappointment. And maybe she wanted the inheritance.
So,
well, who knows? Colwyn, who is it actually who's making him feel like he's a failure? Is it himself or his siblings or his dad?
Well, the only way to proceed is to incur a penalty, and, well, either we make a choice now or incur the penalty and proceed with more questions.
I mean, we do need to remember we can ask different questions, but I don't feel confident in making a, accusation now. I'd rather take a penalty than have one of them be judged unfairly.
I really want to know what really would be at loss here if we picked wrong. We don't pick the right one. What happens?
apparently also a punishment, just a greater one.
Yes, and for what reason?
We still don't know. He said we'd be able to ask questions once we're through all the 6 tests.
I still do believe we should treat this as seriously as possible, even if they are just manifestations of something that may or may not have happened. We should still treat it as if we do have to hold someone's life in our hands.
Hey, fine. Okay, mighty hot dog man, punish us with your hot dog ways. You want another round of questions for these hot dog deviants?
Abraham, roll 1d4 for me, please.
Can you not phrase it like that, please?
Everyone takes 3 psychic damage.
Ow.
Well, that's unpleasant.
Why you smell like hot dogs all of a sudden? My head hurts.
Mm-hmm.
That boiled hot dog water.
Is there a pot nearby?
It's all right. Well, hope that felt good.
Can we at least call him something other than Hot Dog Man?
Okay, you can call him HM if you want to.
HM?
Hot Dog Man.
I think I just took another 1d4 point of psychic right there. Sure feels like it.
So what's the next round of questions shall we ask these deviants?
I mean, I still feel like asking them who do you think killed him could lead us somewhere.
Go for it, Milla. It's your turn.
All right, then. But I do want to ask them in a specific order.
Well, I don't believe that you were you can. I think you can ask in any order you want, as long as you ask all of them one question.
I just assumed they were presented in order, so I just went down the line as the names would indicate the order.
Corwin, who do you think murdered your dad? Of your siblings?
He steps out and goes, "Man, I'm not even a good enough son to know who did it, but I can tell you this. Bria is not the kind of person who would kill her father." Then he steps back.
Oof.
All righty then.
They continue to be hard to read.
Yeah.
Nate,
Yes.
continues to be hard to read.
Oh,
I think this is one of those things where we have to dictate upon the answer because they are literally wax statues.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I will say there is a DC, but you're not actually rolling against them. You're rolling against someone else.
Goddamn hot dog man.
and the 21 isn't good enough.
It is not.
Jesus.
DC was set beforehand.
Yeah,
And I
no,
can't-
I trust you.
I get nothing.
And I can't
Yeah.
even use guidance. Fuck.
Yep. Yeah,
All right.
hard to read.
All right, so the logical thing here would be to ask Bria directly, but seeing as they respond to each other, I think that's not a good idea. So instead, let's do something completely different. Elira, who do you think? Who amongst your siblings do you think murdered your dad?
Well, seeing that Alaric was about to be a huge disappointment whenever he failed the family, I would think he's the one who would kill our dad.
All right, so she both got beef with Dara and Alaric. Okay. All right. Moving on then. Dara, who amongst your siblings do you think murdered your dad?
All I can say is that there is no way me, the perfect daughter, who did everything to make my dearest papa happy, could have murdered him. And she steps back.
All right, give me a moment. That leaves Bria and Alaric.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bria, who amongst your siblings do you think murdered your dad?
I believe my little sister Elira murdered our father because she was tired of hearing him talk about the rest of us in a positive manner. And then she steps back.
All right. And finally, Alaric, who among your siblings do you think murdered your dad?
I personally do not believe any of us could have done it, as we are all wonderfully dutiful children who take good care of our families. But if I had to pick one, all I can say for sure is that there's no way that Elira killed our father. Look at her, she's far too young. There's no way she could have that kind of hatred in her heart. And steps back.
All righty then. Let us go over those responses. So we have both of the boys who didn't accuse anyone. They simply said that others didn't do it. The girls are blaming other people. Except for Dara, who's simply trying to say that she definitely didn't do it. She doesn't really talk about the others at all.
Yes, and Corwin defends Bria.
Yeah.
Little suck up.
Bria says Elira did it. Elira says Alaric did it. Alaric says that Elira definitely didn't do it. I mean, at least it gives us some ideas. The only one who's not being blamed is Corwin. And Dara. No one's saying Dara did it. No one's saying Corwin did it.
Yes. If they're all in on it, maybe they all got one to do it. And the trick question is that they're all in on it. They're all going to mislead us. And maybe eventually throw each other under the bus. And, It's so many variables. How much damage do we want to take? My brain hurts.
I do not believe you're alone in that part.
Should we go for another round? I don't think we have enough concrete proof.
You
We could try asking them where they were at the time of the murder.
yes, and wait for them to lie or say something completely different, unrelated to the question.
Yeah, they do that.
I mean, ask a question. They don't answer it. Okay, where does it leave us? More damage. So
We could
have to
ask them to stab one of us in the heart from the back. And
analyze the details. Can you make a recreation of the body of the father, and so we could analyze it topographically and anatomically, determine where?
Yeah, the angle of the stabbing could also tell us about the height.
Is that something we can do, Judge?
Everything that you need to resolve this trial is in front of you.
Right.
If the body was to be part of the trial, it would have been before you.
All right. So we just have to be smart enough to figure out the right questions, yeah?
That was not a confirmation.
Silence is its own answer.
It's safe to assume that we just need to ask until we find the narrative.
Actually, I do want to do a thing. It's going to be dumb, but it doesn't cost us anything to do this, so...
This is DM, not Hot Dog Man talking. As a reminder, just for the having them stab you thing, remember they're not physically there.
I know.
That's something you notice
as for an actual stabbing.
Right, but something you would have noticed is like, say when Abraham went to step forward to talk to them, he made the motions as if he was walking, but he never actually moved. So, like, you can't actually even walk over to them.
Oh, we can't move around them or anything.
I see. Okay.
Okay, because I was going to do the whole, like, walk around them, look for anything, like, bit of blood or something. But okay, that's not possible.
What we've ignored so far is one of them is covered in blood.
One of them is covered in blood and is holding the knife.
Yes.
One of them literally has their father's eyes in their mouth. That's why they speak so garbled. Come on, guys. This isn't tough.
I mean, one of them is just completely red on their back with the knife sticking to their back, but we can't see it because we can't go around them.
Wait, we can only ask one question per person per round, or we only get 5 questions total?
No, it's one question per person, and you can't reset until you've reset to ask. You have to ask everybody one question before you can ask somebody else the next one.
I was just thinking like, okay, you say this, but she says that, but what do you say to that? Like, just bounce it back to the first person, but I can't do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, we can do that in the new round. But yeah,
Yeah, we could definitely do that. All right.
we could
If
ask
one
the
of you
oldest
were to
about
be an
his.
assassin, if one of you were to be an assassin with the strongest and most surest hand, which one would it be?
God damn it. Hey, hey, Judge. Why do I call you Judge? Hot dog man, I guess. Yeah, I think we're gonna be going for another round. It sounds like. Well, can I just ask,
Gobs.
what are you doing? What is
Will you-
hurting us?
Will you go ahead and roll a d6 for me?
Two.
Everyone takes 2 points of psychic damage.
Oh,
That felt potentially worse, but not quite as bad.
what? How
You
can it
heard
feel
me.
potentially worse?
You heard me.
So I'm just gonna ask, we still have all our stuff with us, or are we completely just in clothes?
You have all your stuff with you.
Why am I naked? Why am
I
I missing my? Why am I missing my bits? Who made me Barbie?
So
Also,
as we
who-
asked, so
Why
as we
does
asked,
Abraham have a six-pack?
Because he's an
Can I secretly
alcoholic.
Roshi?
Oh, you're going that 6-pack. I was just like, he's just popping up Miller Lights. Look,
Yeah.
he's a functional alcoholic. Leave him alone, all right? You don't
So
want to
wait,
see
hang a
him.
second. So he's Master Roshi.
He's a Roshi, yeah.
A functional alcoholic with a 6-pack living on an island, telling everybody to leave him alone, and he blows stuff up. It's fine.
It's my submarine. I'm naming it.
"Hey, pig, grab my dick."
Good man. Proud of you. Very proud of you. It's so rare that people get my references other than Cyntari. All right. So
It tastes like crap, but keeps him regular.
I'm like a soft serve ice cream machine. Anyways, new set of questions. So all of them are eligible for questions now. So let's do this. So it's
You okay, Doc?
so that you have a functional mechanic for it. After you ask,
You just saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
after you ask them a question, when they step back, they kind of turn grayscale.
Okay. Oh God.
So they are all Technicolor again. So they're all eligible for questions.
Well, like I was about to say, in worst case scenarios, I still have my medkit on me.
Think we're allowed to use that?
It's not magic. And we won't be using it to solve the case, we'll be using it to not die.
True.
So in best case scenario, I can buy another round.
I mean, I could go for a round.
Of questions.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. So whoever had a good idea of questions to ask, feel free.
Who stand to gain the most from the father's death?
The eldest.
That's
Yeah,
a
I
pretty
mean,
good question. Maybe
yeah.
there is a good inheritance. And if the oldest is going bankrupt, he might need that inheritance.
And why is Corwin a disappointment? What did he fail to do to earn the ire of the father?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the others have anything against him, or maybe they just don't care about him.
And if so-and-so was married to a doctor and so successful, then why does she care? She seems like she ran off to find her own way, and maybe she has some hang-ups. And maybe Alex trying to cover up for his failure by killing his father.
Well, if no
Corwin,
one- Okay, go ahead.
why are you a failure to your own eyes?
I always have to depend on my family for everything. I can't provide for myself. I can't find a girlfriend. My facial hair doesn't grow in properly. I don't know how to dance. I can't play any instruments. Every time I've ridden a horse, I fell off a horse. I don't really know how to read very well. I'm partially colorblind. I sneeze a lot. I have allergies. And then he steps back.
I got a
I'm
real
starting
strong
to feel
stabbing.
bad for this guy.
I got a real strong stabbing hand. It's just terrible.
My right hand is way stronger than my left for no reason. I'm so lonely.
I feel like I should tell you guys what I noted down for Core when doing that.
Chill out, Trindamere.
This is what I have on Corin currently. Claims to have been a disappointment and unemployed. Says bride did not kill her father. Is an incel.
Is an incel.
Yeah.
That is all I got from that.
Well, it's
Can't
not
grow
wrong.
facial hair, falls off of horses. Can't
Oh,
talk to
I do
girls.
want to add one last thing. He said, you know, everybody in the family's always telling me it's okay and I'll be fine, but I don't believe them. Because, I mean, look at me. And then he steps back.
Did he literally just step forward again, ungray himself to say more stuff?
I meant to add, I wanted that specific piece to be in there. So, sorry.
Okay.
So I said before he stepped back, he would have made it. He's basically making the statement. Everybody else says it's okay. No.
Oh.
Everybody else encourages him. But he doesn't believe them. And then he steps back because he believes he's the failure.
So it does seem to be self-inflicted from what he's telling us.
Yeah.
Insanity typically stems from a depression or depressive state. Manic episodes can typically develop from that. I read that in a book once. You don't really know what that means.
Sure, but he just seems sad, not manic or aggressive.
He seems like someone who lacks self-confidence and really, well, hasn't found his way in life, even though he is getting to an age where such things should have happened. Which
Maybe he just needs to get laid.
I mean,
well, yes, but it has to happen naturally, or else he'll
Does
just
that
feel more
help?
empty.
Is there an unnatural way? He's confused. He's like considering it from a clinical
Abraham,
perspective.
If you actually find love on your own, it feels more fulfilling. It feels correct. If you hire a
I
prostitute,
don't.
then you feel sad.
You're like Abraham's not getting it. Like love, it's never anything that's been on Abraham's life.
Abraham, the way you feel about books is how some people want to feel about people.
Mm-hmm.
And they love
never
turning those
borrowing a book
pages
from
if they
Abraham
really
again.
love the book.
Oh,
You know what it feels like when you slide that bookmark right in your favorite chapter.
Right
You know what
there,
I'm saying?
you save it for later. Yeah, the anticipation. Oh,
See,
okay.
he gets it. He gets it. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
is that why all your books are sticky?
Stop it! Leave it alone. My personal life.
Is this why you can't cast level 2 spells anymore? You can't open that page?
I loved her too much. My Clara. My clairvoyance.
Detect magic.
Oh,
All right, let's move on because this is going to go a place I don't really want to live.
Anyways, he
All right,
seems
so you've
sad,
asked
but
Corwin a question.
he seems like he has a lot of problems, but he doesn't, at least to me, seem like the person who would just go and kill his father for no reason.
Yes, but
I mean, he does
not
have
to
a bit-
denigrate his character, but a soft personality can be easily molded.
Yeah. Also, he kind of gives off the vibe of someone who would, you know.
No, I don't know.
He's dark.
Like, you know,
He's saying he might take a life, but it wouldn't be somebody else's, is what he's implying.
Oh,
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm going. Like,
Yeah, the word that will get us banned on Twitch,
okay.
definitely on YouTube.
He's going to pull out
He
a piece
would
of paper
self-
and do some math in a grid like form, right?
he would self-ban.
Mm-hmm. Sudoku.
He would Sudoku. Yeah.
He would unsubscribe from existence. Gotcha.
I could also
Mhm.
see him just going a place, but no, he's way too
He
clever
would
for
take
He would
autoerotic
close his main
asphyxiation a
accounts in
step
WoW,
too
I know.
far.
that. Yeah. Okay, I think we're dropping the topic.
It still brings back to the point. I don't believe he would actively harm someone else.
Yeah,
Unless we have proof of somebody else pushing in that direction, I agree.
Yeah, I could see him lashing out, but from how the murder is described, I don't think this was an accident. That would be premeditated, so I don't think he did it.
All right.
Judge, can we get like a red X over the guy, please?
Can you take him to the map layer? I don't want him in the turn order anymore.
But then we only have 4 people to ask questions before we get penalized.
That is true.
Is the penal going to get bigger?
Yes.
The penal. Oh God. All right.
This is all Nari's fault. She was
Dara.
Dara put up with you guys.
Dara was is she the married to the doctor and like really
Yes.
shitty to everybody else?
She's not really been shitty to everyone else. She just went, "Oh, I'm so pretty. I married a doctor." And when we asked her who did it, she said, "Oh, I can just tell that I definitely didn't do it."
Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, she was like real dodgy, not shitty. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Alira, didn't she like throw somebody else under the bus?
Yeah, she first of all said that Dar was definitely not pretty, then said, "Oh, she thinks Alaric did it because his business was failing." She's just throwing shade at everyone.
And she's a little girl. Gotcha. So, Dara, what do you think about Corwin?
I don't
Give me
think
a
about
second.
him at all.
The day you met me, Corwin, was the greatest day of your life. But for me, it was just Tuesday. Damn, Dara. Shit. My
Of
sister.
course.
You know, you're not too far off. So she's going to say, I think all of my siblings would benefit to follow more after my example. I'm a good, responsible daughter who takes care of her family, provides for herself, and is not reliant on everybody else.
I don't think Dara did it.
Full of herself.
But if she is correct in her assessment of herself, then she doesn't need anybody else. She would have no need to kill her father.
Unless she wanted to take that away from her siblings somehow. Which
That would
be
require us
weird.
a level of spite that would require us taking more damage to ask further questions.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
As a reminder-
Alira.
As a reminder, Alric, Bria, and Alira have not been asked questions yet for this round.
I know.
Yep.
We know.
Just making sure you guys know.
Oh, I'm keeping track. I just don't know who to ask next because I'm thinking about like you're having us figure out a story by asking 21 questions, and it's like we're piecing it together and figuring out what's the next best move.
I really hope we don't get to 21 questions. That will kill us.
You start rolling ones. All right, roll a D100. 1. Gosh, this has been going on for hours, guys. We have intended to kill you long ago.
Just like a skill issue.
Skill issue. Alaric, to your claim that your business was failing, truthfully, to your father's honor, what happened?
Judge pipes in. Can you clarify? Are you asking what
Asking
happened to
Alaric-
his father or what happened to his business?
What happened to his business, and I'm imploring him upon his father's honor to be honest. since honesty seems to be in short supply.
My business failing? Sure, there have been some downturns in the market, but we have such a firm financial foundation that we can weather such a storm and will continue to be the envy of all the other merchants in the realms upon which we provide our services.
Bria,
Steps back.
Not
what
so
would your
fast, not so
father?
fast, not so fast.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What?
He's
I'm writing
taking
notes. There we
I
go.
missed. Okay, Doc. What? I missed it.
No, I said I'm writing notes. Please let me finish the sentence.
Oh, I thought you had a question.
No,
Sorry.
I just needed to finish this before you.
Sure.
Okay, I'm ready.
Bria, what would your father think about your brother's Alaric's business acumen?
Well, Daddy would have said he spread himself a bit too thin, but he had faith that Alaric would find a way to salvage the situation. But that's how Daddy was. He believed in all of us. And then she steps back.
Lyra, I have a question for you.
Question? Oh, no, question. Just a moment.
I knew he'd do that.
There we go. Okay.
Hey, Lyra, what was the happiest memory you ever had with your father?
I can tell you this. He wasn't happy when Dara married that loser doctor. And then she steps back.
So she's just not answering any of our questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking
Spiteful
teenagers.
Hot dog man, can you make her solid for just one quick smack across the face? Just for catharsis' sake? Just for catharsis.
Tell you what, you figure out who the killer is, I'll let you get one in on Lyra regardless of who the killer is on your way to the next trial. How's that? Is that fair?
Missed all of it, bud.
Sounds good.
He said, I make you a deal. You figure out who the killer is, regardless of if it's a Lyra or not, I'll let you get a slap on her on your way to the next trial.
Yes. Smart mouth little snot. Reminds me of me. Can't stand that.
Only one person I hate more than her, and that's me.
Me.
And she's just like me.
And I hate that. And her. It's a feedback loop.
Temperature! Hence the six-pack. All right.
All right. Another round. Hit me.
All right. You guys are wanting to take another round of questions?
Yeah.
If we're trying to get this right, then we gotta.
Yeah.
All right. Let's have Othokent roll 2d6 for me.
Give me that
Okay.
good stuff. Ooh.
12 damage.
6.
Six
Yeah.
damage. 6 psychic damage to everybody.
That's not
Hot
very
dog
bad,
man, it's
isn't it?
starting to feel good.
What?
Huh?
Look, I get masochism, but
You go through a life like mine, you end up having all sorts of quirks.
All right.
Right.
And you have a fresh round of questions.
okay. So we've agreed that we're ruling Dara and Corwin out. At least unless someone says something that very highly implies them. Correct?
Well, at least Colvin.
At the very least, Corbin, yeah.
All right, let's see. Maybe we should ask one of them. Maybe Colwyn, because since we're sort of ruling him out, maybe we should just ask him who would be the heir, so we know for sure who was in the will, presuming he knows.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I go ahead?
No, feel free.
Well, that is the question for him, but what about the rest?
Well, I was thinking that that could help us shape the question for the rest. Because we can talk
Yes.
between the questions.
I am mostly here to assist with taking whatever brain damage is thrown upon us, so feel free to ask questions.
Really hope I don't get more brain damage. Colwyn, buddy, friend, pal. Do you? Why I'm asking like that? Colwyn, let me try this again. Colwyn, God damn it. Who would be the heir since your dad has passed? Like, who would earn his things? Is it evenly split? Is someone getting more? Someone specifically named? Or what's the situation there?
Dad had his will set up to take all of his money and everything and split it evenly between us, which doesn't really seem fair because, I'm just going to waste mine. He should have given it to the others. And then he just stepped back.
That kid does need to get laid. Yeah, I agree.
Does that even work?
Getting laid? Well, first you find a woman and then you fall in
I
love
don't
with
think
her.
he asked for Abraham. He didn't ask for an. In psychological terms, Nathaniel, if you are one who has been very lonely and not really had much reach to the outside world, then if you actually do find love and get rid of certain pent emotions, it does release a lot of endorphins and helps you feel happy.
It makes me feel happy, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Makes me feel like I need a shower.
Yes.
Oh, yes, you definitely need that after, depending on how. Never mind.
Anyways, what questions do we ask the other dear siblings?
Well, it's an even split in the inheritance. We could ask if anyone is not happy about that. But I'm not sure how that would help us.
I think we need to look at motive at this point. Alaric has a reason. Alaric could have a reason to kill him, with the whole business thing.
Yeah, but it's kind of too obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the obvious choice. Let's see. We don't have anything on Briar, really.
No.
We just know that she really doesn't like Alaric. And thinks Elira did it. I'm actually surprised she didn't blame Alaric for the murder as well. Maybe she just sees so little of him that she doesn't think him capable. Corn's just a poor guy. Doesn't care about the situation as far as I can tell. And Elira is just a negative teenager. Also, she avoided the question about her happiest memory of her dad to just say something else.
Yeah. I'm still kind of interested in Dara's husband.
Yeah, I agree. Should we ask? Actually, Alaric hasn't really said anything about Dara, and he's a businessman. He'd like to have an objective view on it, right?
He would have an opinion about the husband at the very least.
I mean, if we're to ask anyone, probably him.
They did say he was a poor doctor, apparently.
Yeah,
Who was it that said that? Was it Bria?
that was Elira. Elira said that he was not as successful as she
All
claimed. He
right,
also
yeah.
said Dara was not as pretty as she claimed, and that their dad was not happy when Dara got married to him. Seems to have fixation on Dara, doesn't she? Yeah, let's ask Alaric that one then. Alaric, what can you tell us about Dara's husband? Is he a successful doctor, or do you, what's the situation between them and everything?
Why, Dr. Theranos, he's one of the greatest doctors that's ever lived. Did you know he invented the magical formula for true resurrection? It's amazing. Everybody was dead before he came around, and now people are alive again. And then he steps back.
The hell?
Huh?
Is that some snake oil?
No, true resurrection is magic.
I meant as in, like, don't doctors usually use medical stuff, not magic?
Well, yes, that's the requirement of being a doctor. I did not get a PhD by casting prestidigitation.
Yeah, and he said he invented the formula for true resurrection.
There's no formula. It's and I know this is gonna sound weird, but it's a God-given power.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, is this snake oil? Like someone's been told a long story?
At least if we go by the logic of our world, then that's some hogwash.
It could
I
definitely
feel offended.
It could definitely sound like that doctor might not be on the up and up.
Oh, was this Alaric that answered?
Yes.
Mhm.
So are we going to assume now that Alaric is a bit naive?
He's a blowhard, yes.
Kimba or Flossola. Sorry about that.
That might also be why his company might be suffering.
See? So we have questions left for the girls, Bria, Dara, and Elira.
Could also ask them what they are planning on using their inheritance on.
We definitely could.
At the very least, I have no real good idea. I've kind of lost the thread here.
I think what we have here is a series of failures resulting in a desire for recuperation of funds. If it's true that Dara doesn't need anybody, then she's not involved. Corwin is really depressed and he doesn't think he's going to handle all that money, then he doesn't really care. He's not involved. We have a spiteful childhood and we have a failing business. This is what we know.
We could also ask, since Bria has a phone in the side of Alaric, if Alaric ever approached their dad about funds to his business, and whether or not he was shut down for that, and might have a motive there.
I think this might end up being as more simple than we realize.
Probably. I've never been good at this.
If my supposition is correct, it's Alaric is the one who arranged for the death of the father. Probably the one who struck the blow. We could get close. Obviously, any of them can get close. But he has the motive. He needs the money. None of them else have expressed a desire for money. One wants to be prettier than the other. One wants nothing to do with the family. One wants to be sad, and the other one wants to be daddy's girl.
Actually, I could see a way that Dara could be doing this.
Yes, but keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if her husband actually is a con man.
But he's not here to ask.
I know.
I've made my choice. If all of you want to ask more questions, feel free.
I mean, we still have some questions. We might as well use them.
Hmm?
Let's see, who do we have left? It's still the 3 girls, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, let's ask Bria about the whole asking Alaric asking for the funds thing. Bria, did Alaric ever approach your dad asking for funds for his business? After the original creation, that is.
No, he never would have asked Daddy because Alaric has an image he likes to present to everybody, and it would be too big of a blow to his ego. And the one thing he really cares about is how Daddy thinks of him, and he couldn't have handled it if Daddy was disappointed in him. But Daddy would never be disappointed, even if he did fail. Alaric just never could see that. And then she steps back. Actually, I'm going to have her step back out. I want to correct that. Neither of the boys could ever see that. And then she'll step back.
Yeah, I really don't see Corwin having a motive or the nerve to do this. So the father would have helped from the sounds of it if he was just approached by Alaric. But Alaric was too proud and afraid of letting down his dad. But that's also speaks against him killing his dad.
Doc, are you eating something?
Chewing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going through. I'm sorry.
All right, so you have 2 more questions. One for Dara, one for Uldra.
Dara and Alira.
Mm-hmm.
Dara, did any of your siblings ever try to have your father change the will to redistribute funds their direction?
I would never have asked my father to have changed something like that. I really didn't need any of the money with my very successful husband, so...
Is that her answer? But I asked, did any of her siblings?
That is her answer very
okay, just making sure.
specifically.
Okay, just making sure.
And then she
Insight.
steps back. Really hard to read. Still really hard to read.
Hang on a second. I got eyes of the roomkeeper. I can read anything. Says so right here.
Her skirt says Versace. That's what you can read on her. All right.
What's a Versace? Gucci, Supreme. Hang on a second.
Anyways, question for intimidation. That they're immune. They're not intimidated by someone who can't touch
Hot
them.
dog man. Hot dog man.
He's immune.
Oh.
He's immune. He's an iron golem. Anyways, look, I told you ChatGPT helped me.
Right,
do you guys have a question for Elira? Or Elra?
I have something I want to say to her, but it's not a pertinent question.
Jeez.
When we look at Dara, does she look like someone who has expensive taste and expensive ways of dressing?
I'm imagining
Yes.
Wednesday Addams.
No, she is a beautiful well-dressed, blonde, in her mid-20s.
Because he's starting to sound more and more like a gold digger and really wants to push just how well off her husband is.
I'm getting a Daria Wednesday Addams vibe from her. Like she wants nothing
From
to do
Dara?
with her family. Yeah, from Dara.
Yeah. No, she thinks she thinks she's the best.
He has standards. He needs money to keep that standard.
Yep. So, question for Elra.
Is your sister's husband a good doctor?
No, he's an awful doctor. I don't understand why she would marry him. He's not even that cute or handsome or rich. You know, you don't have to do all of that just to make daddy happy. You just live for yourself. Did you ever think of that? And then she steps back.
Wow, she finally gave an actual answer to a question.
Well,
That's-
the question did give her a chance to slight somebody, so she went for it.
I suppose, but all the other questions we've asked her has been completely useless.
Gentlemen, I would
That
like
is
to make
good.
you an offer.
Yes.
So, if you will take double the punishment, you will get another 5 questions, but I will also tell you how one of the people answers questions.
Well, before we take that deal, let's talk about what we think, how they're answering questions.
Probably.
So Alaric is praising
Himself.
and confident. And Cohen, depressed.
Corin takes every opportunity to slight himself, it seems.
And Elara takes every opportunity to slight everyone else.
Dara doesn't answer questions. She just deflects blame away from herself, but without aiming it at anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, and to sweeten the deal just a little bit, I'll let you tell me which one you want to know how they answer their questions.
Milla, how does she answer her questions?
What?
As sassily as possible.
I already knew that.
66. No, you asked. Roll 66. No, I'm playing.
Brain dead. I'm making a bard to annoy the DM.
I got a phone call.
Silvery bombs.
Soundscream just says he's got a phone call. He's got to go.
Fair enough.
Okay, then we can talk more about what we think.
Yeah. Doc, mute yourself.
Sorry about that. I have people walking into the room and asking questions.
Soundscream's AFK. He's got a phone call.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about the thing. So what I believe is happening right now is we have a 2 possibilities: failing business and gold digger. If what teen girl said is correct, he not rich. So if she likes money, like people are saying, kept in standards, like Doc was implying, maybe, or was it Nexus that was implying? I don't know. One of you was implying that.
I'm back.
I was implying.
So, yeah, so you were implying that, and so it was like, well, that would make sense if that's why I asked the question to Ilaria, but she was if the doctor was even good.
Yeah.
Well, if he's not rich and she likes money, it could be her. If Alaric is the good boy, always going to follow Daddy's thing. He's not going to betray Daddy. He's not going to hurt Daddy. Then, well, can't be him. Despite, yeah.
How much do we actually know about Bria?
Daddy's girl. That's all I'm getting off of her. She's always going to defend Daddy, from what I understand. I don't really get a good read on her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's her, but we actually don't know that much about her.
No. Maybe she's the one that snapped and killed Daddy. Didn't want to see him hurt with all of her failing children all around him.
I'm back, just in case you guys didn't hear.
We did. We just don't know where to go
we
with
did.
this.
I do have a question for Hot Dog Man. This offer of being told how one of them answers questions, can we bring that back up at a later point if we don't take it now, or is it now or not?
Oh, you can. I'll let you do that at any time. Just understand, each round the punishment goes up, and if it's double the punishment, it will be quite severe.
Can I ask another question, which is unrelated to the current case?
I suppose.
You're saying we're not allowed to use magic. Is it just for solving the case, or is it also for relieving these injuries?
Magic does not work in the version of the realm you are currently in.
Okay, but normal medical supplies would.
Magic does not work in the realm you are currently in.
He has not stated it is so, therefore it is not so.
Okay.
I have rules I have to play by as well. There's only certain things I'm allowed to reveal to you. For this may be a realm that I manage, it is not mine.
Okay, fair enough.
As I mentioned before, there are rules that not even I can break, or bend, or change.
Okay, one more question, and it's fine if you can't answer it. Are we expected to take further pain as we go along this thing with the other trials, or... And if so, should we keep that in mind for this?
There are various different types of trials, some mental, some physical, some emotional. So I would keep in mind that you do not know what's around the next corner.
Right.
Or I suppose in this case, through the next looking glass, so to speak.
All right, one more question. Is the offer of getting a hot dog still up?
I
I'm guessing
don't
no.
have my cart with me right now.
Fair enough.
If you make it to the pub, you can have one, though.
Pup, there's a pup in here.
Yes, that's where your friend is at.
Oh, right, you said that.
Yeah, she has a very large fondness for cookies.
Are we going on to the next round, or are we taking a deal? I'm just waiting for the group to come to the decision.
If we are to take the deal, we should do so now. It will hurt
The deal.
one, though. I think the deal would be good, but who are we using it on?
Bria or Dara? Any of them. I don't know if Alaric is going to help us. He's just going to say he's the bestest.
No, I think taking the deal will cause the hot dog man to tell us how they answer questions.
Right, but we have to pick one. I don't think picking Alaric is going to help us. Maybe like Bria or Dara, maybe?
Yeah, we already suspicious of Dara, but as I said before, we actually don't know that much about Bria, so it might be useful. I'm not sure. You guys are the smart ones.
No.
Well, I mean, we already know that Dara doesn't want shit to do with her family and thinks she's better off on her own. But we don't know jack shit about Bria. So at this point, wouldn't asking about her matter more?
Possibly.
Hot dog man, punish me. What is Bria's deal?
Roll 66 for me.
All of us are taking that, right?
I can die from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody takes 24 points of psychic damage.
I almost did.
I literally am on 1 hit point. That took me to 1.
Bria always tells the truth, but only speaks about others.
Yeah. I'll get to that when my brain comes back together.
Well, okay, that is important knowledge because now we know that she is speaking the truth whenever she opens her mouth.
Alrighty
even
then.
if she's not answering directly.
Administering medicine, Nathaniel.
Hey, this is one of those if we die in here, we die in real life things.
Abraham. Me. And Gobx. 2 net ones. Feels bad, man.
Still a chonky healing, though.
Yeah, and do it once. So.
As a note, that also included the payment for another set of questions.
Okay.
I hope so.
How generous of you.
I mean, technically, I could have charged you both.
Oh, technically, you didn't have to do any of this. If we're talking
No.
technically.
No, I literally did. I do not have a choice in the matter.
Well, then whoever told you to do it literally didn't have to.
That's true.
Can we relay a message to whoever your boss is, just in case we die?
It can be in the form of a hand symbol, if that makes it easier.
I assume that I will only need one finger to convey said message.
She is the number 1 person in my book.
I will make sure he's aware of that. If the need arises.
I think it will regardless.
Fair enough. Good luck.
Right, okay, so she will always tell the truth, but only talks about other people. Let me just put that down in my notes, which I should probably be showing you. And this was Bria, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is Briar Rabbit. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just put this in so you all can see what we got so far. City of Gilgamesh. There you go. And I've highlighted the thing about
Nice.
how she answers. That's what I got so far. If you feel like I'm missing anything, please let me know.
Your marbles.
Nope, I lost those the moment I stepped out here and this whole thing happened. Hey, Arm, you think you could take me to that black place for a bit? I'd like to go there. No? Okay. Meanwhile, in the caster's head, someone's trying to breach the demiplane. Huh?
Hmm?
Who knows? Lyra might always be lying.
Could be.
Oh yeah, just so I've stated it, I can only fix you up like this once.
Never heal us again.
Ever.
Well, no, I could tomorrow, but I don't think he's gonna let us just take a nap while we're in here.
I mean,
Well, there was
technically-
no time limit, and demi planes follow their own time. Let's just set up camp.
Yeah, that's actually true. That was never stated. We can totally do that.
They're not really here. Images. Let's just think about this and do this later.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so I got heart attack.
Why does my brain hurt? Oh,
Rocks fall, everybody dies.
So we have a truth question. Should we bait out a truth question by asking everybody else questions and then asking her last?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I think that's our best option. Because I don't think we'll live the next round.
I actually do
Unless
have
we're
a
lucky.
I do have a question here. Judge, can we request one of them to pay attention to something? For example, just say, "Hey, pay attention to what these others are saying. We're going to ask you about it later." Will that work at all?
They only respond to questions, not orders or statements.
All right, was worth a shot.
But they do listen in to what the others say if they feel like it.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. Unless these are all pre-recorded and we're just getting real lucky. But yeah, saving Briar for last might not be a bad idea. I also feel like Corwin is, while he's self-defeating, he seems reliable in his responses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same negative response that he's a piece of shit every time.
Yeah. But I still believe his responses.
You
And no one has talked against his statements.
Oh.
I think what Dara corroborated that, or Laria did, said that he would waste it or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he also said himself that the others are trying to encourage him, but that he does not believe it.
Hmm.
Now, if either Dara or Elira are lying every single sentence, if we look at what we've said so far, what does that make of it?
Let's see, if Dara was lying, that would mean that she's not married.
Well, it wasn't just married. It could be longer ago, but sure.
No, as in that was in relation to what their profession was, and she says she had none. She was just married.
Oh, okay.
As in that is all she does.
So she might actually have a profession if she's lying.
It will also imply that she definitely did it, and that that she thinks her siblings should be nothing like her, and that she definitely thinks the will should be changed. If Elira was lying, it means that she would mean that Dara is actually pretty and her husband successful. She would not think that Alaric did it. She would know that their dad would be happy with Dara's marriage, and she would also admit that Dara's husband is a good doctor.
Yeah.
I think if we look at one of them lying, I think it makes more sense if Elira is the one who's lying.
Yeah.
Because those statements just make more sense.
They at least flip better.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
I mean, there's an easy way to check, I guess.
Feel free.
Is your name Elira?
Elira, what's going on with Corwin since he's this down?
Despite him being charming, good-looking, smart, and having a successful job, he seems to think He seems to listen to all of us whenever we tell him that he's worthless.
She is the one who lies.
That sounds like it because that completely goes against what he said.
Yeah, it goes against what he said and what others have said about him. So
Yeah.
she lies.
So she clears Alaric, and the doctor is a good doctor, which Alaric also thinks, since he made the formula for true resurrection.
Okay, so let's go through them. So that means that her statement would clear Alaric, yes. We know that Bria always tells the truth, and she says Elira did it.
She thinks Elira did it.
That's true.
Did she say that Elira did it, or that she thinks Elira did it?
I believe I've said that all of them says thinks because we don't know if any of them actually knows. So it's just in relation to their statements.
Yeah.
All right, so that cleared that one up. Unless Corwin is lying and others are lying and she's the only one telling the truth, but we already know that's not the case.
Yeah, but now we're coming back to if Elira is lying, then Dara's husband is the good doctor. He is making bank.
Yeah.
So Dara's motive is being lessened.
It definitely is, yeah.
And Alaric, what he has said, makes more sense, at least in terms of the doctor and all that, but he still has the failing business.
Yeah, that is also true. That leaves Briar. She always tells the truth, but always about other people. That way we can't ask her if she did it.
Briar,
She steps up.
would your family say you killed her?
Her? Him.
Alaric wouldn't, but he would say that none of us killed anybody. Corin would say that I did not kill my father, but he would say that somehow everybody's going to think he is. Dara probably wouldn't even acknowledge that you asked anything about me and talk about how she's so awesome. And Elira would say I did it. And then she steps back.
That checks out with what we know about her. She tells the truth, but about other people.
Yeah, but here's a problem.
Yeah.
Elira says that Briar did it, but Elira always lies.
We don't know that. We're supposing that. We know, according to the rule master, that Briar does that.
Yeah.
I mean, this could still point to Briar doing it. Because the moment she says that Elira would say she did it, she would be talking about herself, indirectly.
True. So is this a double negative that Briar is talking the truth about what Elira actually means and not what she says?
You asked her what the others would say about her in that situation. She told you exactly what she would think the others, what the others would truly say about her.
Yeah.
So,
from her perspective, what she
from her perspective. So, if you asked Elira if Bria killed their father, Elira would say yes, Bria killed the father.
So Briar didn't. If Elira is a liar.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't asked Elira yet. We just have Bria's take on what Elira would say about herself.
We already asked
So
Elira.
you have asked Brian and Elira questions this round.
Right.
Lara only speaks about herself or stuff related to her. Come on, guys.
I'm thinking. Colin says Briar would not do it, but he's also kind of mean. At least from what we're seeing.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick while you guys are thinking.
I was about to say something real dumb. Corin, how long have you been doing estrogen?
Wow, oof.
Yeah. Like I said, it was real dumb.
Could be Elira.
It could be.
He's young, doesn't have a job or family yet, or business.
I'm back.
Maybe Elira's deal is she always lies about others. Maybe she tells the truth about herself. Only we.
Maybe. But we can't really survive taking another deal.
No, that wouldn't make sense because she says that all of them tell Colin that he's doing a bad job, like that he's horrible. That would include herself there.
I will give you this hint. This isn't Hot Dog Man. This is me. None of them have a dual nature like that. It's all very straight. Like, Bria's is she always tells the truth, but only about others. There's not like a tells the truth about herself, but always lies about everybody else. There's nothing like that. It is a very single sentence descriptor for everybody.
No.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Alaric,
He steps forward.
how did you plan on getting out of your current business predicament?
Well, I wasn't having any type of business predicament. Somebody's been feeding you a good story. But if I was in a predicament, I would obviously use my fantastic market knowledge, probably bolstered by my dear brother Corwin. He's brilliant at everything he does, to help me navigate the waters and even help Elra's boyfriend, secret boyfriend she didn't want Daddy to know about, despite how amazing he was. All of them working with me to continue the wonderful success of Auric shipping. And then he steps back.
he just keeps on boasting and praising.
But there's a boyfriend.
Yeah, Lyra has a boyfriend. A hidden one.
And Corwin's apparently amazing at business.
I mean, it does check out that he talks himself down, and others could take advantage of that, I guess. Should we ask him about Lyra's boyfriend, if he knows?
And Corwin's just gonna shit on himself.
Well, yeah, but he also does give us something about the others. He doesn't. He doesn't just shit on himself.
Who is her boyfriend and what does he do?
He is a tumor.
I'm glad you got it.
My boyfriend's not a tumor.
Actually,
He's a Cancer and I'm a Pisces and we're a perfect match.
we could ask. We could ask Dara about the boyfriend if it matters at all.
I'm sure Dara's gonna be filled with all sorts of enthusiasm to tell you how awesome that boyfriend is.
Think.
I don't know.
All right. Do you mind if I just ask a question then?
Just go for it, man.
All right. Dara, what can you tell us about Lyra's boyfriend?
Oh, well, Lyra obviously came to talk to me about him because I'm so much like Daddy. So obviously, if I approved of him, she would be more comfortable bringing it up to Daddy because she was so scared. But thankfully, she came to me, the best sister who's most like our father, and I was able to make her feel so much better about it. At least, I think I did. I can't see why she wouldn't have believed me that Daddy would have been fine with him.
So she just talks about herself. Okay.
And then she steps back.
So that just leaves Corwin then.
We can ask Corwin about the boyfriend, but he will probably spend that time on something else.
I mean, he does actually give us the answers we're looking for. He just also does that. At least that's what I've gathered.
Yeah.
And it's not like there's a time limit on their answers. Actually, if we believe Alaric that Corwin is good at business, which would also check out with what we'd heard elsewhere, then we could ask him who would stand to gain the most from their father's death.
He does seem like a bright guy who just doesn't see it.
Yeah.
From what we're hearing.
So, should we try that angle?
I really don't know. I'm kind of afraid of taking more damage.
Yep.
I will keel over immediately.
I mean, what else can we really ask that would be beneficial to us?
How many hot dogs can you fit in your mouth?
Have you ever played Fluffy Bunny?
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go for it.
Do it.
Colwyn, who among the siblings here would, from a purely financial standpoint, stand to gain the most from gaining the inheritance they will now be getting from your father's death? Hello?
To confirm, I can hear you.
Yeah. Not sure what the sound screen is doing.
My microphone was muted because I was eating an apple and I forgot about it. So let me start over. Let me go back to Corbin voice because he's a bum. So like we'd all get the same amount of money, but like Ulrich could use it because his business is having trouble. But then like Bria was gonna have a baby, and babies are expensive, so the money would be helpful there. But then like me being the biggest loser and not having a job or a spouse or really any friends or like nice shoes or one of my eyes kind of points the other direction when I look at people, right? So I could use the money. But then Dara, her husband is like a really good doctor, and like so she's good on money, but she also like helps people with her money. So she could use it to like help people. She like pays for bills for like people who don't have money, which is cool. So much better than me. And then Elra, she's got this cool boyfriend named Raul, and he's got like a ponytail, like a motorcycle, and like he's like a half orc, so he's like really jacked, right? So she could like buy some clothes to be like more impressive to him. So like all of us could use it in our own ways. And then he steps back.
First of all, Bria is having a baby.
That gives some motive.
I'm not sure. Like, I pretty much think her dad would be overjoyed.
Yeah.
But the boyfriend does sound like a possible motive for Elira.
Yeah, it does. Fuck.
That might actually be a person the dad was not happy about.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
And being a teen is hormones and all that.
Yeah, also it's the whole, biker with a teen. I can see him definitely not approving. But again, we also don't know who Bri is pregnant with. Maybe there is no one there and she's just pregnant. That sentence did not make sense once it left my mouth.
Can I just be pregnant and not pregnant? How do you get pregnant?
Regante.
Pregnant. God damn it.
Can you become pregnant?
How to know if prognant or prognat? I don't remember how that one goes.
We're running out of time, guys. Come on, let's get through the first layer today.
Earlier,
You know who you're dealing with.
She's already been given a question this round.
No, I'm claiming that she did it.
Oh, go for it. Sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were addressing her to ask a question. I was like,
You did this. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. This wasn't a question. It was a statement.
I'm going to be honest, I have not been able to read any of them at any point throughout all of this.
It's okay. You haven't had emotions for that long.
Insight.
What's the rest of your guys'
He
excuse?
really hasn't had emotions. I don't care. My
Nate,
character does not care.
you believe that he has read them this whole time?
Yes. That's why you're the sharpest one of us.
You really?
I got it. I know who did it. Hot dog man. He said whoever was responsible was in that room.
Hot diggity dog.
I mean, I think that's why he teleported out of the room, but he was in the room when he said it.
Exactly. When he said it, he was in the room.
Mm.
So instead of do you know the muffin man, it's do you know the hot dog man?
The hot dog man.
Never building.
He lives
a
on
puzzle
Brioche
again.
Lane.
Never ever building a puzzle again. Never again.
You knew what you were getting yourself into.
I thought I did. I really did.
So
I don't know how this is actually playing out. Did you guys overestimate me, or did I overestimate you?
You overestimated us.
Somebody's made an error.
You held us way too high, dude.
Option 2 is always correct.
Okay, so what we know is Alaric is going to play up whatever he's doing as the bestest ever, but nobody's ever really denigrated him except for saying that he screwed up. Everybody is on Corwin's side except for Corwin and Illyra. Bria tells the truth about everybody.
Illyra has not really said anything bad about Corwin. She said something bad about Alaric.
No, she said everybody. No, Illyra says everybody shits on Corwin.
Oh, right, she did.
Okay. And we have Bria, who's positive about everybody, or at least truthful about everybody, and thinks that Illyra did it. So if you want anybody who was, has like firsthand experience, character experience, tells the truth.
Yeah.
Firsthand character experience of the individual we're talking about. And we know factually they tell the truth.
So, we putting our money on Illyra?
Well, I'm just saying, he says keep it simple. They don't have dual natures. Read it for what it is. There is nothing between the lines.
Then, yeah, I'd say Illyra.
I mean, Dara really just doesn't want anything to do with this or the family in general.
Yeah.
It's Illyra. She's
Yeah,
just not a little child.
Dara probably just wants to go back to her valley mansion and...
Her successful true resurrection husband, who apparently can live forever now.
Yeah.
Hot dog man. Larry did it. I want to slap her now.
In the web of this adventure, Alaric, the eldest, only tells lies, but they are always positive-sounding lies. Bria always tells the truth, but only speaks about others. Corwin is overly negative, but everything he says is true. Dara always tells the truth, but only talks about herself. Illyra always lies, but only talks about others. Illyra, scared that her father would not approve of her half-orc boyfriend, who she had recently secretly become engaged to and was expecting a child with, in a panic, stabbed her father from behind and left his body as he lay dying in his living room. You have passed the first trial.
Yay!
I'm just gonna decompress for a moment. Just gonna let out all that stress and air.
I
Yeah,
want a
can we
hot
nap
dog.
now?
Sorry, what did you say, Nexus?
Yeah,
Let's
can
nap.
we have a nap now?
Okay. Also, can we slap Lyra, please?
Yeah, I'm so glad that I thought Elira was lying.
Yeah,
Help.
you're right on the money with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought she was just being snotty. Like I thought like Corwin is always negative in a certain way. I thought maybe there's a
Yeah.
possibility that she was always negative in another way. But apparently it's just the truth.
You know,
Wide
it's
scale.
just that all her sentences, like, went against what other people were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. So what happens after we make this claim and he states that we were right?
All of them fade to non-existence except for Elira. She's actually more vibrant than she has been. Go ahead, take your slap.
You little shit. Let's slap her upside the...
She starts to cry and then she fades.
What? Just one slap?
Well,
She's
yes.
the only one that asked for one.
That is fair.
I don't want to
Also-
slap her. I'd kill the poor girl.
Also, was this based on an actual case that happened, or these real people? Did we
They
just
were
decide
once
someone's
upon a
fake?
time.
Okay, once upon a time. Okay.
Hey, how did that feel, Mr. Grissom? You just slapped a ghost.
It felt very real. So Hot Dog Man is something you probably should respect from at least a he can take your soul and do something with it perspective.
Oh, I just borrowed her soul temporarily from the seventh plane of hell.
I'm looking at as Hot Dog Man's talking, I'm just staring at Abraham. Abraham's just staring at Nate
What?
and just sorry. Just staring at Nate and just whoa, eye detaches and looks back on himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you're looking deep into Nate's eyes,
And I'm just pointing at him. The hot
Stop
dog man's
you
like, see what he's
asking.
saying? See what he's saying? What? Yeah, listen to that.
You-
Yeah, I'm
you get a touch dizzy, and when you shake your head and open them up, you're now in a room.
What are all these chains?
No, it's a
Handcuffs.
solid dirt floor. There is an obelisk made of stone standing in the room. There's a door behind it. In front of the obelisk is a patch of like yellow dirt, like very dry, dusty dirt in a shriveled plant planted in that dirt. Now we begin the trial of elements. And that's when we're going to end the session for this week. As you move on to trial number 2.
I don't got no fire. I got no fire.
I got no fire.
I got no fire.
More. You smoke? You smoke?
You smoke, you gotta smoke. I don't got smoke anymore.
I don't smoke. I got no matches. I got no
I
fire.
got no matches. You got no matches. Got no fire.
What the hell is going on?
Trial of Elements, the fifth element, the movie, the fifth element at the end. Corbin
right.
Dallas,
Chris.
we got no fire. Got no fire.
Corbin, my man.
Corbin.
Oh, I had happily
The fifth
forgotten
element.
that fucking guy. Oh,
Chris
no.
Rock?
How dare you? No, it's Chris
Hugs.
Tucker.
Chris Tucker,
Chris
yeah. Chris
Tucker.
Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
And that was
Yeah.
Ruby Rod, one of
Ruby
my
Rod.
favorite characters.
Oh, I love Ruby
I love that
Rod.
movie.
No.
He's the
no,
best.
No.
Come on, Dallas.
I hated him from the first second he arrived on screen.
He was so. I don't know if you know this. That role was originally written for Prince, but Prince wouldn't do it. So they got
Prince would have
I
nailed.
understand.
Look, oh no, Prince would have nailed it.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but he didn't want
yeah,
it.
I know.
Prince, he would have done so well. I wouldn't have hated him as much as I do.
But I'm just saying he could
Because
have
he
done the same
actually has
character.
charisma, but Chris Tucker is just...
All right. Before we
No.
go any further in this conversation, let's let the screen go, guys. Thanks for joining. I know it's been a bit since we played our game. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed trying to figure out who the murderer was with us, and we'll see what the little withered plant holds in store for us next week.
Also, if you figured out before all of us, congratulations, you're smarter than 4 idiots combined.
Yay!